Joined by Steven Lawless. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. What about yourself?
Aye, good. Thanks for coming on.
No any problem, anytime.
Just want to go back to the start. What your early football memories would be?
Well, I've got a bigger brother, so I always remember at the park playing with him. And he's a bit older, mate, to be honest. So I was out playing football with his pals and that at the green when I was like 4, 5. And then my dad's a big Rangers fan, so I can always remember I got to Ibrox when I was right young. So they're probably it. And then I started with a boys' club around about that time as well. And I've just got memories around about the same period of time, and it's all. But my dad and that, obviously, my mum tell me stories for below. Say I always had a ball. I've got pictures for one. I think I was 2. It's not really a memory, but I've got a picture to show that. I can't remember it, but picturing me and my dad and that they bought me a big electric car. It was like a big Jeep, big expensive thing that was my big present that year, and I refused to get in it unless they bought me a wee fiver football ball, and I refused to go in it unless they let me get in with the ball. And they've got a picture of me, this big expensive car, and I would only get in it if I had this wee rubbish fiver football that I had, and I was sitting in the car like this with the ball. So it's just always been a thing for me.
Who would you say your biggest influences growing up would be? Would it be your brother and your dad?
Probably. My dad and my mum were massive for me when I was younger, because when you more so when you get into pro youth, I was there when I was 10, you travel everywhere, you're away to Aberdeen, Inverness, and at that point there's no really buses when you're at that age, so I can remember them taking me up to Inverness and that, and on their weekend as well, so up there on a Sunday or a Saturday, and up there for a 2 hours basically, and back down the road, so a lot of commitment for them. But basically, I think playing my big brother and that was massive for me, because they were all my brother's 13 years older than me, so I was out playing with them when they were all 18 and that, and I was 5, and I used to get battered after them. I got to sorry, what are you saying there?
Surely they're no 2 foot and a 5-year-old.
Nah, no that, but I was, to be fair, I was good when I was younger, but not that good. But got to a point where I would go and play fives with them. See, when I got to my 20s and that, I'd go and play fives with them when I was only 10 and that, and it was no holds barred then, because I used to have to push at them.
Do you think that toughens you up doing that?
Aye, 100%. My brother's he's you can't. I say it to him all the time. We actually went and played fives I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. No, maybe not that long ago. But when I was playing football at a decent level, and playing fives, it was a competitive league with my mates and that, just in the pits. And I get kicked all the time. But this one boy was he was kicking me right, but wasn't said I was keeping the ball and hanging. And I've ran past him, he's volleyed me, and I've ran on and scored, and I've turned around and my brother hit him with the throat. So he's not been invited back since. But back again, I think that toughens you up, doesn't it? He used to volley me up and down the place, because I was his wee brother that ripped the piss at him.
You even get kicked all the time now. Do you think that kind of helped you take that a wee bit better?
Aye, I don't mind it, to be honest. I know I'm going to get kicked. That's no part of my game. But everybody's going to do these wee things to try and get an advantage if it works. So I think it's maybe helped with my attitude and not letting it bother me. If I get kicked, I just take it and go. And if I get kicked again, fair enough. But you get some boys that maybe didn't have that upbringing where my big brother and that were kicking lumps at me, that maybe you hit them once and maybe don't want the ball for a wee 10-minute spell. And you see it with some people, but it's definitely helped me with that. Kick me as many times as you want, as long as I can get back up, I will.
So how did it come about that you end up getting picked up by Motherwell?
Well, I signed with a local team out here, Mill United, just a boys' club in that, when I was 5. In fact, I think I might have been 4. I was 4. Played a year above my age for a few years, and then the guy who ran it kind of just said, Motherwell, we've been watching you, and at that point it was another 2 years, so it was 3 years went there, and it was you weren't over there full time. So the first maybe 6 months it was every Friday night we'd go there and just basically train with them, and then it got to the point it was we want you to stop playing with United now, so it was a YTS at the time, signed that, and that was it really, aye.
And what was that like compared to boys' club?
Completely different. Like I've said this a few times. Like I understand why players get picked up younger than that, but I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. I think I don't think if I had that maybe 5-year spell where I played with my mates and enjoyed myself and just done what I wanted, like I don't know if I'd still be playing football. Like I think you need that enjoyment, and I'm not saying that when you go pro youth it's not enjoyable, because it is, but it's completely different. Like the training's different, games are different, you're playing with boys you don't really know. Whereas I'm still pals with, like, so when I went to that Mill United, I played a year above me, and I'm still best pals with one of the boys who I played with the year older than me. And like I've been pals with him for I was 4-year-old now because of that. And when I went to school, like all the older boys were there, and it's just I've got pals like all the way through that for them because I played with them. So it was a big difference that way. But like I don't think, like I say, if I didn't play boys clubs, I don't know if I'd be playing football.
Well, why are you against that? Do you think like players at a young age at pro youth and that get overcoached rather than just learning to enjoy it?
Possibly, I don't really know what it's like now, but there's a lot more pressure on boys, and it's not maybe for the coaches that, it's just maybe the feeling of like you go to games and that it's different, you're playing with different boys. It's obviously a level up, the coach is obviously better, but do you really need that when you're 5-year-old? Like surely you should just be trying to fall in love with the game. And me personally, I missed a lot of playing football with my mates when I was like, I don't know, maybe since when I went to Motherwell, I wasn't allowed to play with the school teams. So like I've got like the only like enjoyment of playing football with my mates that I've got for that age was when I was at boys club. So that's maybe where I get my love for the game as much as I did, because like if you go to pro youth, I don't know what they do when they're under fives, to be honest, but that is different. But I can see why they're trying to get hold of kids so early so that they can get them to their potential as quick as possible.
And who kind of came through in the same team as you at Motherwell? Obviously, we know Slaney. What was he like? Just
the exact same as what you see. He's always been like that. It's not an act at all. Like that's what he's like in the changing room, like 24/7. He has his days where he's a wee bit quieter, but he's like that. He's always up to something. Try to think when he was there quite early, so I went when I was 10. I think he came when he was like 11, 12. Robert McHugh, he was there for right up with me as well. So like me, him and Slaney were there for maybe like 13-year-old, all 3 years together. And then you get into like the 17s, maybe a wee bit younger than that. I had a boy called Peter Innes who screwball as well. He was at Albion Rovers and that for a while with me. I don't think there's many when I was right young, but then when you get up higher, obviously there's a lot like Sean Hutchison and that, who's I just played against him where he's at Millwall now. Now a lot of boys who kind of got to 19s and then fell away.
So he always kind of downplays like how good he was, but at that point he was like top drawer, wasn't he?
It was out of nowhere, to be honest with you. Like I say, I played for him as like maybe 11, and he was always quite good. Never a standout, like good, solid player, like good. But with games where it was all right, games where he was off it. Massive confidence player, he had a lot of confidence. And he got to like, I think it was like 16. I can always remember we're in done like, it was like sprint tests. It was like it was up in the gym at Motherwell, and it was like 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards. And it's like these trackers and that you're trying to run across at times you. So like he done it and like ripped every single record apart, and he just get put straight into the first team. Because I mean, like they had fast boys at that point, like you had Chris Humphries and that, and fast boys, and he absolutely blew them to pieces. And he just went for there and see for like 16 to maybe 19, unplayable.
Really?
Like, unplayable, aye. Like probably the closest to him at that age would have been close comparison, because Fleck he was in the first team already at that point, and he was obviously the one everybody spoke about when we were younger. But James Forrest and Slaney were like, honestly, like that. And at that point, I would have probably said Slaney was a wee bit better.
Really, aye.
Aye, like scary good. Just give him the ball. He'll beat players, get in the box. And that's what I done. Like I think he actually said on that programme he liked playing with me because he played in the left and I played in the right. So every time I get the ball, if I was running that defender, I'd cut in and he'd just make that run and I'd pass it to him. So like he scored so many goals just off of that movement. And it was easy to do because he was that quick.
That's mental that you've said that, like comparing it to Forrest, because when Declan Gallagher was on here, he said that when he played with Forrest at Celtic when he was younger, and he says that this was going to like European tournaments and winning, being in groups with Real Madrid, AC Milan, and that he was winning like player of the tournament.
Aye, he was scary good and all. Like it was just games you couldn't touch him. Like if he turned up that day, like the defenders couldn't deal with him, so you just had to try and outscore them basically. And I wouldn't. He was like that all the way up. To be fair, James Forrest, he was like that a lot, like every year group. Whereas Slaney kind of came out of nowhere. Like it just maybe got to a certain level, grew up a wee bit. I say that he's still a rocket, but I mean like strength-wise and that, he got to maybe his peak levels that way and then just blew up. I mean, we were getting to training sessions with the first team and like first team boys were telling him to stop it or they were going to punch him a bit basically.
Madness, eh?
Aye. Really good.
So how did it come about that you were going out on loan to, well, was it Annan and Albion Rovers?
Aye. I don't even think I was meant to go to Annan, to be honest. I think they were trying to get boy I played with, Jordan Houseman. But I think a striker got injured. At that point I was like in between being a striker and a winger. So like I went for like a month emergency loan. That boy came back. I'd obviously done no bad because Albion Rovers seen me and took me straight away, me and another two boys for Motherwell. And that was a good changing room to be involved in. That's one of the best things I did, getting loan, because it makes you man up a wee bit. It's completely different for playing 19s. I'd got to a level where playing under 19s and like the games on but they're competitive, but you're not getting anything out of them because you're doing that well in them every single week. You're not getting a challenge really, and you need to go out and play pros. And it's the best thing I did. Like it took me to a completely different level which I'd been at before.
It's completely different pressures as well, playing obviously men's football compared to like youth football, eh?
Aye, like you're saying there, pressure. There's boys there trying to make a living, like 19s and that. Yeah, it's a competitive league. It's good for what it does. Well, no, it's 20s, isn't it? So you get an extra year, but it's good for what it is. But once you get to that nitty gritty, boys are fighting and scraping for 3 points and for a livelihood and that, and it's not just a hobby. It's a lot different pressure to deal with, and especially when you're playing with. I think I was 19, but like boys, if you don't pull your weight in the changing rooms, you get called out for it.
So after those loan moves, when you go back to Motherwell, what was the plan for you then?
Well, I went basically 1 year at Albion, then a half year at Albion, but before that I made my debut for Motherwell. Scored. It was against Big Decky. I've got a picture on that. I send him all the time to bam him up. So we played Clyde. I made my debut, scored. The next week I was on the bench again because it was a league game against Dunfermline, and like Stuart McCall, he did like me to be honest, so I got on really well with him. He told me to get warmed up at half time. I was going on because Chris Humphries was having one of his nightmares that he could have. Good player, but he was fond of a nightmare now and again. So he had a bad first half, and Stuart McCall said to me, right, get ready, you're going on, because I was flying at that point off the back of Albion Rovers. And Chris Humphries came out the second half, and I think he scored within 30 to 40 seconds, and I get sat back down. And it was just a case of waiting my chance. It never came. They were flying at the time. Boys like Nicky Law, Humphries, Jamie Murphy, all in my position, all doing really well, nobody picking up injuries. So I went in, spoke to Stuart McCall at the end of the season. They said to me, look, we were going to offer you a deal, but you'd be doing the exact same thing as you'd be doing this year. Like, you'd be in this position, need to wait for a chance. It might not happen, but he's like, I'm going to put it in your hands. He basically said, he's like, I've got to offer you this deal, but there's interest in you to go and play. And at that point, if they'd offered me that contract, Thistle would have, it was Thistle and Falkirk wanted me at the time. Thistle and Falkirk would have had to have paid compensation for me. I don't know how much it would have been. But he basically says, look, if you want to go and play games, I'll take this contract off the table and you can go. So he done me a turn.
Then signed for Partick.
I went and I was actually meant to go and meet Falkirk as well. I think it was Stephen Presley at the time. But as soon as I went to Thistle and like spoke to Jackie and Sid, and I knew some boys for like playing against them. Like for under 19, Sean Welsh won our player of the year for the full league. So I knew they had good players, and what they were trying to do and the way he was wanting to play would have suited me. So that's kind of how I made my mind up, basically just off of that meeting.
And what was Jackie McNamara like as a manager?
Brilliant. Very, very, training methods and that were very laid back, simple. I think it was actually, I've heard a few boys say about Martin O'Neill's training and that. It was like, kept it nice and simple. Boys loved it. Loads of wee games, boxes. Quite laid back guy, to be honest. Only seen him lose his head once or twice, but laid back, got the best out of me. I think I scored 10 goals in that 7 months he was there, and then he went to United, obviously. So I only get good things to say about Jackie. He was brilliant for me.
You ended up getting promoted in the first season, eh?
Aye. If I'm being honest, I wasn't sure. I knew boys feel like playing against him. I knew played at Annan and against Annan when Aaron Muirhead was there, so I knew he was decent. Conrad played against him. Sinclair played against when he was it Stranraer? No, Montrose was it.
Aye.
So like I knew these players, like Sean Welsh, knew these players were good players, and that wasn't even like I didn't know much about the rest, like your Doolins and Erskines and that. So we had a really good team. So done it the hard way a wee bit because we went through a wee sticky spell halfway through it, but I think we're lovely winners. I think that team were up against it a bit because we had a lot of kids.
It was a really, really good team. Like, looking back, I remember them at the time as well.
Aye, I was quite. I think a lot of Thistle fans like that as well. Like, just kind of came out of nowhere because Jackie was building it the year before, and then I think he finished like 6th of that. And I always say to like Squiddy and Dillon and that, like they'd still be in the championship if I never signed. But I had a good start to the season. I started really well. Like, I think I scored something like 4 goals in 6 games of that, or something like that. So it was a good start and makes it a lot easier to settle in when you start like that.
I was going to say that when you hit the ground running, it's much better for you just to kick on for there. Eh?
Aye, it was massive. I think I scored my debut and then scored my league debut the week after it. So that was against Falkirk. So I think we beat them 3-1 that day. Dill's got a double, but like I kind of felt something then because we were by far the better team that day, and going into the league, like when the league, you look at the league table, you'd have thought Falkirk, Dunfermline, us, Morton would have been up there. So to go to start off with like beating 2 of our biggest rivals, we fought like Falkirk and Dunfermline the first 2 games was massive, and I think we just kind of kicked on for there.
I was going to say that it was a good Falkirk team at that point, eh?
Aye, Lyle Taylor was there. He ended up getting player of the year that year. He was flying. I think he got a move off the back of that season as well. But I had a good team. They'd Sybil in that as well, and a good team. McGovern was there as well. The keeper, Mickey McGovern. So good players, good team. But we obviously had a bit too much that year for them.
I don't know how Falkirk didn't get promoted with some of those players they had there. Like looking back,
they went through a wee stage, didn't they? They were always that team. Always second or third in getting playoffs and just no getting it. But it's difficult to get out of that league. It's not an easy league to play in.
It's a horrible league. You need to just make sure you're hitting form at the right times, basically.
Aye, if you've any wee kind of slip up or tail off, then you're in for a long season. So it's a hard league to get out of, but it's a good league as well. There's a lot of teams down there that shouldn't be in there.
So when you got promoted, what would you say the main differences were between the first division, with the championship, what it is now, and the Premiership?
Probably more physical, more athletes. I think down there's a lot of good players in the championship, but there's a lot more physicality in the top league. I think a lot more consistency as well. I think the defenders are they're less fond of switching off. They still do it now and again, but it happens a lot less than it does maybe down the divisions a little bit. Took me a wee while to get used to, and well, to be fair, it took me. It's a lot more. Obviously, you've gone for Thistle playing the Championship. You're winning every game, not winning every game, but you're top most games. A lot more attack minded, and then got to the Prem. We kind of started that way as well, playing the same football. But eventually, you're going to get caught out. Teams have got to switch on to you, and you need to kind of mix it up. So a lot more defending when you're playing for a team like Thistle and that in the Prem. You need to be switched on that way.
So just about adapting, because teams do switch on at that level probably after the first round of fixtures.
Aye, you find it with everybody, like with Livy as well. Like after you play so many games, like teams realise your style of playing. They do things to stop you. You're not going to be able to play the same way every single game. So that's what it kind of felt like at Thistle. Like with first maybe 7 or 8 games, we were talking football, like passing teams off the park and good teams as well. We played Dundee United, and it's just after Jackie had left. So that Dundee United team was scary good. Like they had some ridiculous players like Shift, J, Mackay, Stevens, Armstrong, Gold, Robertson.
That team was true. They were quality.
So good. Aye, like that team. Like you look back at that team was like amazingly good for Dundee United in the Prem. So we played them the very first game and we still won the game. Made chances, battered them. They had some chances as well.
So you had a good season that season, and am I right in saying there was a bit of interest for Holland?
Aye, I didn't even know anything about it. Like I got a phone call off my gran telling me to put the news on. And it was like it was a bit on the news, and she's like, when you got to tell me you've got to Holland. So what are you talking about? She's like, turn on the news. So I put on, I think it was STV, and it was a picture of me with that Willem II's badge, and I didn't know it. They had a couple of bids knocked back. There was 3 Dutch teams actually. It was Willem II were the most prominent one. They tried a few times. NAC Breda and De Graaf's chap, all 3. I don't know what they were watching, but they obviously thought I was a Dutch player earlier at that point. But it'd have been good to get out a bash, to be honest.
Well, how did it not come about in the end up?
I think Thistle wanted too much. I hadn't even kicked a ball in the Prem before. Played 2 cup games for Motherwell. Played lower league for Albion Rovers. Then we won the championship, and I think they were wanting 100 grand. I think De Graaf's chat put in like 75. Willem II put in like 75 grand, and I think there might have been add-ons in there, but Thistle wanted 100.
Did you ever try and push it through, or was it just a case of you weren't overly fussed?
Nah, I was just too young. Like looking back at it now, I was just a wee bit naive. I thought I did actually want it to happen because, like, just from a personal point of view, like I know the type of player I'm on, and like imagine if I went to Holland, like their style of coaching and that would have fitted me down to a T. Like I think I'd be a much better player than now if I did go. I think it would have suited me as well, their style of play. So I kind of just thought, look, I was off the back of a great season as champ. I thought I would get into Prem, do the same, and I'd go to the end of my contract. But these things just didn't work out. But looking back at it now, I could have maybe. I love my time at Thistle, but looking back at it now, I should have probably been a bit more of an arsehole then and tried to force that through.
It would have been an interesting move, that, like you didn't really hear moves like that really even coming about now.
No, it was weird. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it. I knew I had a good season, but I still had a year left in my deal, and like I was looking forward to. I think I might have played a part in my decision not to try and force it through. Like I hadn't played in the Prem. I was wanting to try and prove myself at that level as well, and but looking back, obviously now I've had so many years in the Prem, like it would have been amazing to try that. Like there's not many boys from Scotland got a move to Holland, and like I said, I think my style of playing, like the size of me as well, I think I'm more suited to the Dutch league than I'm a Scottish league.
A bit more technical.
Aye, just like I'm not the biggest. I'm not your typical Scottish player. I'm fit, but I'm not an athlete. I'm not going to break speed records. I'm not going to like be physical in that. I can put myself about, but like I'm not like your big deck. He's just all brawn, no brain. So I'm a wee bit different for that. Like I don't think like my skills are like a wee bit different for the typical Scottish player, I think.
Then you built up a good wee bit of experience at Thistle, and then in 2015 make your 100th appearance. That must have been a proud moment for you.
Aye, it was good. Like I said, I really enjoyed my time at Thistle. So I probably enjoyed it a wee bit more. Like a couple of young boys just been a numpty basically, but no, I did enjoyed every aspect of it. I think I actually want to make another 100 after that as well. But like, well, these are all wee landmarks you don't even think about when you're at a club. To be honest, you just think about playing football, especially when you're younger. Like you never really dream about, I can't wait to make 100 appearances. It's just basically about playing football. But I think I look back at more. I've still got my strips for the end. Like I think I look back on like landmarks like that, and that when I retire, a bit more.
It's something proud to look back on, eh?
Aye, like I've got that. Like I said, I've got that wee memento. Like I've kept that shirt with 100 in the back, and I've got one for 200 as well. And hopefully, like I'll end up back at the club at one point as well. Because like I said, I've got a lot of affection for the club.
Think that's something that could happen?
Well, it just depends. It depends who the manager is at the time and how I'm doing it at the time. To be honest, hopefully they're back in the Prem as well. But if not, I wouldn't even really go to the Champ, to be honest, because that's a great club, and hopefully they get back up to the Prem soon.
I'm going to make a bold shout on camera, and I might get slaughtered for it by the end of the season, but I think they'll make playoffs this season.
Listen, I know a lot of boys still there. I know boys that not even for Thistle. Like I know Tiff, obviously, for Livy. He had a great season. I don't think they'd win the league without him, to be honest. He just getting that bit of pace, and obviously hit the ground running. And well, they've got good players. They've got a team to compete, but I think they could be playoffs as well. Like I think they maybe need to get one or two bodies in still, but no, they've definitely got a strong team. Like especially for that level. Like Boyd Bannigan's one of my best friends in football. So like he's been really unlucky. He shouldn't have beat Thistle, if I'm being honest. He had a move like lined up and done his knee, and that's the kind of only reason that Thistle obviously come back. It wasn't really the same for a wee while. Tried to get back up to speed because it was a horrible knee injury he had. But like I said, he's just been terribly unlucky. He shouldn't have been there. He should have been playing the Champ or that, and probably been the Scotland squad, to be honest.
Okay, he's always been a good player.
At that time, like 100%, that's where his career was going. Like he was only 23 of that, I think, and he'd played so many games. And like I was a different player. I'm more forward thinking. He used to like. You playing maybe out with your Rangers and Celtics, like games against Aberdeen and that, and he was like running the game and bossing it for that season or two where he was flying, and he'd racked up that many games. Like I had no doubt that if he went down to, it was Barnsley was supposed to go in the Champ, no doubt if he went down there he would have kicked on again, and I don't know where it'd have been by now, but just one of the things. He doesn't dwell on it, to be fair.
The injury just kind of killed that,
aye. It's just so unlucky as well. Like Aberdeen were trying to sign him as well, and he'd offers for both of them, and he'd made his mind up. He was going to Barnsley, and he was going down on I think it was meant to be the Sunday, right? But our game get moved to the Sunday. I think it was that. Our game get moved to the Sunday against Hearts away, and he was going down the Wednesday or next day off to sign his pre-contract, I think, and just running through at the keeper to press him, and the keeper changed direction, chopped. He just stuck his leg out and his knee went.
That's horrible when something like that happens, eh?
Aye, so close to that move as well, and it's hard to see because he did deserve it, because he was, like I said, he was bossing games in the Prem against like bigger teams and Thistle teams where he had no right to be bossing, and he was dictating the show.
What you're saying about that 2017 top six, that's some achievement, that, eh? Like for Partick.
It's a good achievement, but like I think it's all blown out of proportion, to be honest. Like I'm not going to look back. Same with my time at Livy. Like just good for the club. It's good because you get there. It's a target for clubs. But what does that actually mean? Like it's more money for the club, which is good. More money for the players because you get higher, you get better like, prize money in that for finishing there. But give me a final or a semi-final every day of the week. Like I want to get to Hampden. Like it's a better day out for the fans as well. Like it's more the club. The club need the top six, and it was a good achievement for the club. But I'm not going to look back at my career and say, "Oh, that year I finished top six with this." So it's not going to be something I brag about. Whereas I've got pals that went and won the Scottish Cup, and League Cup this year. Buffy, I played with him. He's won the double this year, so I can't say a word to him now.
There's nothing tangible at the end of it. It's just kind of a top 6. That's it.
Aye, that's it. Like when we got top 6 at Thistle, like it was quite tight. We missed it the year before. I think we finished 7th that year, and we get beat like, the last fixture before the top 6 to miss out on it. So like, the year after, it was a good achievement for us to get there because we obviously felt a bit disappointed we never done it the year before. But once you get into that, I think after the first game, I think it was Hearts, our first game away, went 1-0 up. We got a guy sent off. They equalised 2 each. We made it 2-1 with 10 men straight after it, and like they scored late on to make it 2 each. And see, as soon as that game's done, like we were finished for Europe. We couldn't get Europe, so that was us stuck basically. Like there was nothing to play for basically, just positions, and you're playing Rangers and Celtic, and like were Rangers in the league that year? Aye, I think they were.
I think they were.
Aye, I think they were. They would have been, aye. But you're going to places like that, and they've still got things to play for. Like I think Rangers were struggling that year, in fact, and I think it was Kilmarnock as well. So they've all got something to play for, and we've known it's. I know you shouldn't. You still let it go out and win, but like, they've got that extra motivation and kind of just kills your season like 34 games in.
You're basically just playing for like prize money for the club at that point, eh?
Aye.
Trying to make 5th instead of 6.
Aye, and I think like I said, that game kind of killed us for Europe. I think it was maybe 3 or might have been 4. But like I don't even think we could have. Like I think we had to go on a run. We had to beat I think we need to beat Hearts, Kilmarnock, Aberdeen. Like we had to beat these teams to have a chance of doing it, and like that kind of just killed the season. So I don't think we picked up another point in the next games. Maybe drew a game, I can't mind, but it was kind of a buzzkill, but still a decent enough achievement. But like I said, like I trade that in for a semi-final or a final at Hampden every day of the week.
Should I see Marvin Bartley saying something similar? Like when Livy were in the cup final this year, that top 6 doesn't mean a great deal with the players. You're always wanting to, like you're saying, going on to Hampden and picking up a winner's medal.
Aye, like they got to the cup final this year, didn't they? Like they never did. They didn't get top 6, did they?
No, I did get top 6.
Did they just six? So like the year before that, we were 5th with a couple with games to go, but like they finished 6th and get a cup final. Do you know what I mean? Like every day of the week you're taking that. Even I'd take finishing 10th in a cup final.
Would you?
I know that's what I know fans probably won't want to hear that, but like, you get a bit more prize money, obviously, which is great for the club, helps the club grow a bit, which I can understand that. But from a player point of view, and surely from a fan's point of view as well, it just gets repetitive. Like finishing, say you're 7th, 8th, get a cup final. Aye, that's what I mean. No man's land. It's kind of, you want to finish as high up the league as possible, but if you had to offer me a lower position without being in trouble in a cup final over finishing outside of Europe every day of the week.
So what do you think happened that next again season? So obviously you got relegated. What were the main differences after such a season?
I think the year we finished the top 6, Big Liam Lindsay was massive for us. Like he left, obviously get his move, well deserved. I don't think we recovered for that defensively, to be honest. They were quite sloppy, and I think boys were off a game as well. I'm not just putting it down to that because boys' performances dropped, myself included. But I think I had an injury that year, missed a lot of games. I think like I only started 18 games in the league that year, and I think 9 of them were at left wing back. So like, I'll do a job for it. I had that year at Livy where I played right wing back, where I done well enough, like, but there's a limit to what I'm going to be able to do for there because it's not my game. So like you're not really getting the best at me playing me there. I'll do a job for the team, 100%. I'll put effort in, do as best I can, but quite limited to that for that position. Like, how high am I getting up the pitch and that? So you're getting me in different areas, and then other boys dropped as well. Like Chris Erskine picked up niggles and Chris Doolan. So like majority of the games, it was like we were like kind of the front three for years. We had Higgy and Steve will come in, Ryan Stevenson, that done well. But like we weren't really getting game time, to be honest, and then to the end of the season we did a bit. when it got to like the nitty gritty, we kind of played games but wasn't enough.
In the playoffs, it's a horrible way to go down there.
Aye, a brutal. We went at the last game of the season with a chance to finish in bottom still, so like we had to go to Dundee and get a result and hopefully beat. I think it was County.
It was
County that year, so I think we had to go down and beat their result. So we managed to do that, and I felt good getting into the playoffs. To be honest, I thought we'd a good enough team to do it. Like, just I don't really know. We started off well, and then Clivy grew into the game. To be honest, they kind of surprised us a bit. If I'm being honest, like a better team than they were getting credit for at the time. Like a lot of press on Livy were just a certain style of play where they just put it in the box, lump it. Don't get me wrong, they had that aspect of their game. They took no chances, and I found out that the season after, like, but once you get into areas of what to play, they've got good players that can play, and that kind of surprises. The press was brilliant. I thought going back to Firhill, I didn't think they would be able to do it because the pitch is so much bigger than at Livingston. I thought we'd get them back to Firhill, they would not be able to press the way they did, but energy levels were through the roof, and we just couldn't break them down.
It was a weird game at Firhill. It was like I thought as well we were going to go there and it was going to be like tough, but there was times in the game where we were comfortable.
Aye, like I said, I don't know. We started pretty well. I think not getting that early goal kind of made Livingston grow in confidence. I think maybe we got a goal the first half with a couple of chances. Blair Spittle had one where he's running through and he hits a good strike. He's got a good strike, to be honest. You can't really blame him for shooting, but he could maybe slip in Chris Erskine and that maybe changes the game a wee bit. Hits the target, makes the keeper make a good save, to be honest, but just the wee decisions, maybe that goes in. It's a different game, but then still confident, to be honest, coming out the second half. Like I thought Thistle were playing pretty well still. I felt good in the game. I felt it was playing well. I thought the team were doing well. I thought it would come, but then I think that the timing of the Livingston goal kind of relaxes everybody, means they're doing their job and kind of kills any momentum Thistle had.
Such a well-drilled team. I think they were always comfortable knowing that they could grind out a result.
Aye, like I said, I found that the next year more, obviously, because I went there and just know how much time and effort goes into getting the boys well drilled, and it was credit to them. They fully deserved it. They've had to do it the hard way. I don't like that either. I don't think that's fair the way the playoffs are for the Champ Up. I think it's obviously been voted that way because the Premiership clubs have voted it, but it's like so heavily weighted in the Premiership team's favour. It shouldn't be like that. Even though we get beat that, I still believe that's not a fair way to go about it.
The odds are just stacked against the Championship team.
Aye, especially you finish lower.
Aye, exactly. I think the only realistic chance of you going up is finishing second, like at best.
Yeah, well, the way what kind of works out is you still play. We played. So our last game was a Saturday Sunday against Dundee, and you still play there that next week. So the Premiership still play games. So we basically had a playoff. Even though the teams in the Championship were playing that playoff, like it was Livy and Dundee United, we basically had a playoff against Dundee to see if we were staying up because County were playing. So there was a lot of pressure in that game as well. But like I said, it's usually there's like maybe a week or two where you know who's finishing that position. They can chill out. And the other teams in the Champ need to get through all this. A lot of pressure on them, and I just don't think it's weighted fairly, to be honest. But that was the hardest day I've ever had in a football pitch after it. I went my stag do the day after. I was getting married that year, so I had to go my stag do the next day. So I was like, it was a Monday I was going my stag do. I was sitting in the house on the Sunday night, like having a beer, like depressed. Like I didn't want to go my stag. And all my mates in the group chat, there was 17 years went. Like they're all buzzing, like sending no caring one jot about me just being relegated. All buzzing about meeting at like 6 a.m. to go to Benidorm, and I was sitting in my beer, like sitting in my bed. I wasn't even watching the telly, just sitting in my bed. My missus there, and I was just like, can't be arsed. It was good when I got there. Don't get me wrong, like seeing them on that kind of cheered me up a wee bit, but like I didn't want to go. It was definitely a bad time, and I don't think it got made any easier with signing with Livy after it, to be honest.
going to say, I've just even looking in for the outside, I'm always seeing like boys tweeting you and that Keegan Jacobs, Declan Gallagher, they all love it, eh?
Aye, constantly, like I'm good pals with them, to be fair, they're a great bunch of boys, so if you don't take it in the chin, you've got to struggle. So I knew I was getting, to be honest. So you just need to be quite chirpy so that it bites in the bullet. So I just went in and I put on a front, to be honest, so that if they were going to come for me, I knew they were going to get a bit back. But they were subtle in it, to be honest. Like Decky and that kind of came from me, because I knew Decky. He's for Blantyre and I'm for Hamilton, so like I kind of knew him, like growing up in that. We weren't pally like we just knew each other, said hi. So I kind of knew what I was going to get off of him. But Keegs was subtle about it. He was he's fly. He was putting like things in his testimonial year and that.
Aye.
He had a programme, and back page with all the team names. The two teams for that for the testimonial. The picture in the background is him celebrating and me in the background. Like, I'm standing like this. And like all you can see is Keegs celebrating. I'm standing listening. All you can see is Lawless 11 on the back of my tap. So he's like, put that on his programme. And I've no noticed. I've come in that day of the testimonial and like I was like, you're joking me. Like, who does it? What did you say, mate?
They absolutely mugged you off.
Oh, aye, 100%. And then like, every single year, I get that Twitter, like, every year it's like, obviously an anniversary, every single year they're plastering me all over Twitter, and I just need to take it in the chin. Listen, it happens. You get bad things happen like that in football, but like, fair play to them, they deserved it, but you've got to take things like that when you sign with the team that put you down, to be honest.
And how did that move to Livy come about?
Well, like I said, I was on my stag do, and I was out of contract. I didn't know if I was staying at Thistle or no. Like I hadn't spoke to them about it, but I don't know if it was a case they actually kind of thought that there was no chance of me staying, because like I said, like a couple of times where I nearly left over the years, and like I don't know if they thought I would knock back a deal, but like, so I was on my stag, I was leaving my phone in my room, and doing it at the pool and that. I was coming back up maybe like a couple of hours later to get ready, and I had a couple of missed calls. I think it was like, so I went to Monday, I think it was like Tuesday, Wednesday. I kept getting missed calls for numbers I didn't know. And I was like, I didn't know who it was, right? So I just left it. It wasn't bothering. My agent phoned me and he's like, you got to answer the phone. I was like, to who? He's like, I had a couple of teams phoning me, but the first person that phoned me was David Martindale. He phoned me like 3 or 4 times in my stag, but I didn't know it was him. Didn't know, I missed it. Anyway, when I come back, my stag do, I spoke to him, and they kind of showed their hand earlier that they wanted me. So that was a massive pull on me. I waited out a wee bit because they never had a manager at the time or that. So I didn't want to sign and didn't know if I was going to be the manager's plans. So as soon as like Kenny got the job, I think it was like maybe a month later or that, they phoned me up again and offered me a deal, and kind of I went in and met them. Kind of came from there, aye.
What was Kenny Miller like, although it was a short time? What was he like to work under?
It was good, aye. Quite different from what I expected at Livy, to be honest. Like I said, I thought they were a good team. Like got a lot of bad press for what they did, but when I came in, Kenny was trying to play ultimate football. Like maybe that's what was kind of the fallout and how he went to that. But like we played some. I was only there 3 weeks, and like we played Kilmarnock and Motherwell, I think it was.
It was, aye.
But like, we were playing some good football. We were playing good football, but I don't think that was like what people were used to be honest. It was more a case of getting results and being a bit more threat. Like we were playing good football and maybe getting not as many chances of that. But don't know, maybe given time it could have worked. But these things happen. Like he was a big pull on my sign, to be honest, because I spoke to Davey. I know how much he wanted me, but when he came in and said he wanted me, I know I was like, right, aye, that's good then. But then obviously it was short lived.
Played out for the back in that, but it felt as if there wasn't really any real cutting edge, and we were always just kind of getting beat 1-0 or by the odd goal. Do you know what I mean? Aye,
I think that's what it kind of felt that way as well. But like I said, I don't know if maybe in time that would have came, because it was quite short lived. Like it's hard to kind of get every bit of the piece of the puzzle fitting straight away. So who knows? Like down the line, like it could have worked for that. But I kind of felt that way when we were playing it as well, but we're doing a lot of good up until certain areas, and then even the games we were getting beat, we get beat 1-0. Was it Motherwell beat us in the cup? Like, I cracked the bar in the third minute, and like, I don't think I've had a ball sweeter in my life, and I thought it was in. I was running away. It's just one of the things. If that goes in, like, don't know if that would have stopped. Like, maybe we'd have went in a run a wee bit of confidence in the way we were playing, or like, but who knows? Like I say, like, he's obviously had his style of playing. It just didn't fit at that minute in time, and he moved on.
And when Gary Holt came in, it was kind of back to what it was like under Holt, just back to basics. Back to basics, building on for the back. I kind of turned into a winger back that year. Like, I was meant to be playing wing back, but Davey, to be honest with Davey, was brilliant with me. Like, you know, he signed me and wanted me to attack, and he says, "Look, I'll play you on the right because I know you like coming in." And basically just told me, "I want you forward as much as possible." So like, the ball's on the other side. Like, I didn't need to cover run defensively. It was getting the back post. He tried to get me into the 10 role as well when it was there the other side. So it was a strange role. Like, I was playing like a couple of positions depending on where the ball was. So I quite enjoyed it. Didn't get the numbers I would have liked, obviously, but I was playing obviously more defensive role. So I started taking some of the credit for the clean sheets the boys were getting. Hope you got a clean sheet bonus in the contract.
Absolutely not.
No?
Not a chance. I was getting that half Davey, and see if he offered me a clean sheet bonus. I don't think I'd have signed.
I was going to say he would have had you. He would have had you doing a wing as a winger at that point rather than a winger back, in your words.
Aye, well, he definitely did. Aye, so if he turned around to me and said, "Look, I want you to play right wing back, we've got to give you a clean sheet bonus," I would have like, "No, you're all right." Not a chance.
Somebody else other than
Aye, so I wouldn't have been at Livy if he tried to put that in my contract. But no, it was good to me. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed playing there. I was playing every week and had a bit of a different role for the team. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I was playing with Big Decky was there and all, so that was good to play on that right side. I kind of got him his move to Motherwell, to be honest.
John, you covered him a lot, aye.
100%. He was just there to head the ball. Just head the ball down to me, and then up you get. I think he got a few assists that year. It doesn't shut up about it, to be honest.
Like you say though, you were playing wing back, and then you end up getting moved to as a winger the next again season, and you end up getting a pretty good return in goals in that.
I had a good season. Obviously, I ended up on penalties because Big Dykes couldn't take one. But no, it was good. I enjoyed that. That was the first. I actually said this to Davey, like, because when I went and spoke to him about a new contract, he was like, "I need more numbers off you going forward." And I was like, "Davey, you just played me right wing back the full year." And he was like, "I think I got like 3 goals and 3 assists that year, which is for a wing back's all right, to be honest. But like for a winger, I wasn't happy with it." But so like I said that to him, I was like, "Play me further forward and I'll get you better numbers." And I was like, "Play me on the right and I'll get you better numbers." Because like my first year at Thistle, I know it was a champ, but that was the last year that I had played a full season at right wing, and I get like I think 14 goals that year. Don't know how many assists. And then when over the years, like I played a lot of games at left wing, which is I enjoyed playing, but it just kind of nullifies me coming in. Like that's where my numbers come from. Coming in, try to find a pass on my left foot, obviously, and try to get on a shot on my left foot. So. I kind of said to him, if you play the majority of games on the right, I'm confident I'll get numbers. It kind of worked out that way. I played a couple of games, different roles where he would play me up front with Dykes. If we played against Hibs, I think we played 2 up front, me and Dykes, which was different, but enjoyed it as well because Dykes obviously ran in behind and I was like more coming to feet. But majority of my games were out on the right, and I still feel that way. I think if I play a full season or maybe 1 or 2 games out on the left and that majority on the right, like I could get the numbers like consistently.
Like you're saying, you end up taking penalties as well. Saying about Dykes there, I still have nightmares about that penalty at St Johnstone.
Aye. That was just luck, to be honest, for him getting unlucky for him, to be honest, because I've always felt confident about taking penalties, right, but I've never been a penalty taker. Like I've always gave it to the striker. Done it a few times and it's cost us, to be honest. I gave Dills a couple of penalties when I was at Thistle and he missed them. And then we played like, I think it was Tranmere, somebody else as well in pre-season. And Big Dykes gave him the ball, missed 2 in a row. And 2 seconds. You got a wee meeting? I think this meeting has been upgraded by the host now. Right, ideal. So he said, I'll take pens. So I've given him the first 2 penalties in friendlies and that, and he's missed them. And I was like, Davey wasn't happy, so he's like, you take one. So I've taken one against Ran the cup and scored. And it just kind of took off there. But we're playing, like you said, playing St Johnson, and we got a fly in the first half. Like, I was surprised how good we were, like passing them off the park, like should have been a couple more ahead. And then kind of fell to pieces, to be honest. And then we got a penalty, but 2 seconds before that, like the ball's fell to me like 20 yards out, and I went to shoot. When I went to shoot, defender slid in, smashed me, my ankles went. I've went off, and like I've not even made it run past the corner flag yet, and we've won a penalty. And I was standing right in front of the Thistle fit. No, the Libby fans like that. Oh no, because I hadn't even been off the pitch. Like 30 seconds, we got a penalty. I was like, I've got to be on that penalty, and I'd already scored that game, and I said I was doing well that game. I got an assist and a goal that game, so like I was fully confident of scoring that, and I've actually scored a penalty into that goal before. And then obviously big Dykes arses went, didn't it?
I was also standing in the stand with my head in my hands as well.
Aye, listen, Big Dykes actually went down south and took a couple of pens now, but I was surprised. Last year I was texting him saying, what's happened to your pens now? He's like, I'm doing what you're doing. I'm trying to slow down so the keeper moves.
He just absolutely smashes them down the middle now.
I said that. He said, I'm slowing down so that the keeper moves, and I just smash it. And I watched his penalties like that. He's just shutting his eyes and hitting it as hard as he can.
No, he just absolutely leathers it down the middle.
Aye.
But what he scored a fair few, to be fair to him.
Aye, done well. He did a wee bit of a sticky spell like halfway through it. Obviously, I still talked to him. It's like he was going through a bad. I think it was 22 games he went without scoring in the middle of the season. And then obviously kicked on at the end of the season again and got a good few goals. So I think he finished top goal scorer and top assist in their team. So good year for him. But his game's not even based on that. Like, that's a good return for him. But he's an absolute handful. That's his biggest attribute. Like, defenders can't handle him. The work he does for the team's amazing.
And speaking about penalties, I can't get you on and no talk about your one at Ibrox. I'm sure you would have loved that. Aye,
that was a brilliant moment. Like I said, my dad was a massive Rangers fan, still is. And I grew up a Rangers fan, so I always dreamt about scoring at Ibrox, to be honest, and like not against them, but so it was a wee bit different. But no, I had family in the crowd. Like my wee cousin still goes. I've got family like go to Partick as well, so every time I go there, I get slaughtered. But like my wee cousin sits. So when I've took that penalty, he sits like beside the away fans. So when you're in the away end, he sits on the left. So like down the front. So like we've won that penalty, and I've got the ball, and I've like walked up to take the penalty. And I've turned around, my wee cousin is shouting all sorts of abuse at me, like everything. I can't hear him, obviously, right, because there's so many boos. But he is like, his face has gone red with venom. Like, so I put the penalty down and scored, and like I ended up out with him that night.
Did you?
Me and him went out for a couple of beer. But like, it was a good moment. Like, got pelters, don't get me wrong. Like, I had half my family text me abuse, and the other side buzzing.
I was expecting massive celebrations for you, but you just stood there, eh?
No, I get pelters for that, I know. Like, because like if I've turned around, like it was mere relief. I don't like. That's the most nervous I've been taking a penalty, to be honest, just because. Imagine I missed it. Everybody knows I like was a Rangers fan. Like, look at that. That looks worse on me. Like if I miss that, like I've got mates that are Celtic fans and they would have been calling me all sorts. Like, you've meant that. So like, made a relief. Like made a relief that I actually scored it. So there's actually like there's a picture of it. Robbie Crawford is like standing behind me, and he's actually his arse has went. And he's still because it was quite loud. I never even heard it at the time, but. Amount of boos in that because it was not an 8-shoot time, but it was good to score there. Obviously, something I'll never ever forget. But it'd have been better if we beat them.
We were unlucky that game, by the way.
Aye, I know there was. We had them on the ropes. So obviously, you know you're going to be up against it for a wee while, a period there at least. So, no, definitely unlucky. I think did we not hit the bar? no long after that, and
Erskine hit the
Edlin was
bar.
in.
Yeah, had a goal disallowed, which was very soft, to say the least.
Very, very soft. So, like, and that was on like a 5-minute, 10-minute spell after the penalty had been in. So, if that goes in, it's game over, to be honest. But I think me scoring that penalty made Rangers win that game.
It did. It probably came too early as well. Like, what was it? 47, 48 minutes, something like that.
And it was rapid after half time, but like first half we were comfortable. Like if they came out that half, then we were like, I don't know if me scoring that penalties maybe gave them they put up the arse they were needing, but they definitely upped it a couple of levels. And once that first goal goes in for them, you're kind of up against it, especially kind of came early enough for them, so they had a bit of time to put us under severe pressure.
I kind of had to get that second there.
Easily. You get your second when we had them toiling and it's game over. But even at that, you need to try and keep them out for a long. That gets maybe 75 minutes of that there. The game changes again, and again you maybe become a bit more comfortable. Whereas they scored, I think it was like 60 odd they scored, and
it was.
Gives them a massive lift in it. So it's hard when you're in that situation where the amount of effort you're putting in, that kind of drains a lot of the energy you've got left in you as well. When they get that, and it spurs them on.
Crowd has a big impact on that as well.
It does. It's not something that players try to let affect them, but see when they get that goal and it gives them that lift and the crowd get that loud, like no us, like it gives them that lift, and like the other way about that as well, it kind of forces us back a wee bit and you don't realise you're doing it. You end up sitting back and defending a wee bit more than you should, and it just drives them in top of you. It's a hard one to find that balance where you don't want to, they're in the ascendancy, so you don't want to overcommit, but you end up behind the ball and everybody defending for that. So it's hard to find that balance in these types of situations. So
then what made you take the decision that you weren't going to sign a new contract at Livy and try something new?
I never got offered anything at Livy.
Oh, did you know?
No, there was I spoke to. Well, that's a lie. I actually never got offered a contract, but Davey spoke to me in like October or that, and I was doing well, and it wasn't a case of me wanting to leave. It was a case of me wanting, because I was on a decent wage, but I wanted my wages to go up. Obviously, I was doing well, so got a family in that, so I want to even that situation. I maybe want to a wee bit more off Livingston or that, but like. We never even spoke about deals. He's like, look, got to offer you a contract. That was maybe October, and I said, look, Davey, appreciate it, but like I want to kind of wait out a wee while and see what's happening. Like I'm doing well. I want to try and continue it and see what happens. Basically, no saying I was want to leave. Just kind of want to. So you need to play the game. Like if it was the other way about and like I wasn't doing that well, they would have held out and maybe let me wait a bit and maybe try and get the best deal for them. But I was trying to get the best deal for myself. But it got to like that. Like I said, October was the last we actually spoke, and nothing actually came it. Like no contract was offered. But I was doing well enough not to be worried about it. Kind of knew there was interest, but like again, like I didn't even have that decision to make with Livingston. Kind of got to the point. Plus, there was no hard feelings. Like me and they were quite sound now still. So it's just one of the things. I don't know if it's kind of a case he thought I was doing that well that I would be off, like, or he just didn't, because I didn't want to sign that early, like he maybe never come back with anything, but who knows.
Then why Burton? Just want to try something new down in England?
Basically, I kind of spoke to them early doors when it was Nigel Clough as well. Like I knew they were interested, like early doors when he was a manager as well. And then all that stuff came about with COVID, and clubs were having to pull back and downsize and stuff. So kind of things went off the table for a wee while, but I knew there was still interest, still teams talking to me, like talking to teams up here as well. And just kind of got to a point where I kind of made it up, like I wanted to try something new, basically. Had Burton in it, Fleetwood as well were thereabouts, but Burton came in early doors and said, look, we're going to offer you a deal, and that kind of made my mind up. Like I wanted to go down and give it a try and see how it went. It's a terrible time to do it, just from a personal point of view, where like my wife and that, they come down. Obviously, I've got 3 kids, so it'd be too hard to leave her up here with the kids, and they come down. So, but don't know if that was maybe a mistake, to be honest, because she was kind of up against it down there. Like, they couldn't even get to my games. Like, she had nothing down there at all. She was stuck in the house with 3 kids and got to school and coming back, and they couldn't go out and play in that because of COVID and that. So it was hard for them.
It's a tough time for everybody. It's horrible now.
It would have been tough enough up here, like family and that just down the road, but she had absolutely nobody down there. Like, even like I say, she couldn't get to my games to meet any other wives or girlfriends or anything. So she was like completely about. When I was away to football and like some long days and that, like get away, travelling away to like some places that aren't even that far. Ipswich, and that's like a 3-hour drive, and like it was just because the road was like that minging. It was just like a back road all the way there, and up to Sunderland, and she's stuck in the house all day with 3 kids, so couldn't even get out because of weather and stuff like that. And obviously, like when the parks and that were shut because of COVID, so just a terrible. It was good though. I enjoyed going down there, enjoyed trying that out, but like for a family point of view, it was tough for them.
What would you say the main differences were between Scotland and England?
I'd probably say the biggest thing is like everybody is an athlete down there. Like, I'm a fit boy, like good runner, but like they're all machines, like tanks, can all run to a certain level, and that's the most valued thing down there. Like they prefer that over everything else. Like, that gives you half a chance down there. If you're an athlete, big, strong, can run, like you've got a good chance down there. Whereas up here is more, I say there is boys like that who are athletes, but there's a lot more technical players up here, and that's for me saying that as well, after me saying like the Dutch league would probably suit me more because it is more technical. But there's players up here who maybe aren't the athletes that have it's more technical based. Like, there's a lot more players up here than athletes there is down there. Like, everybody's an athlete down there, every single person.
So just playing against machines pretty much every week.
Every single week. It's that's the most important thing down there. Like, you need that in your game. And I think, to be fair, and they play that many games that I can see why they've went that way. Like, that's massive down there. They play midweek near enough every single week, so it's demanding. But no, I enjoyed it. It was a different experience in my life. Just probably bad timing for me. Like, picked the year to have my best season in the Premier League up here to get the move.
And you'd played that many seasons in the Premier League. You were probably due it to yourself to try something new, eh?
Aye, like I said, I've had a few chances to go abroad over the years when I was at Thistle. Like some ridiculous ones as well. Like one of the crazy moves you don't even think about, like South Africa, and that popped up out of anywhere. Like, don't know how, but it just never happened. So like, I've always wanted to try it. Like, even still, like I would still say that. Like, I'm more suited to football abroad, to be honest, than England. I'd never had dreams of going to England. Obviously, got a lot of boys who want to go to England and play, but I'd always rather try abroad. Just because of style of plays and that. I knew like down there I would be not the odd one out, because there was boys down there that was football, there was good players down there, like good ability wise as well, but they were all like bigger athletes in that as well. It's more based on that, like, but I think it was good to get in and try. Like, maybe things had went not a wee bit stale, but like, it's the same. You're playing teams 4 times a season. It gets repetitive.
It's quite boring. See, just on that, how do you sit on the league reconstruction thing? Would you rather keep it the way it is and play each other 3-4 times a season, or do you think it would be good to change it?
Now, I'm 100% in the crowd to change it. I know why they won't, and like I can see why they won't, because I don't know if it'll get the same amount of money for the league because there'll not be as many old firms. Because that's obviously a massive pull for like Sky and whoever's got the rights. The games, like, I know they got a lot of critics in that, but it's the marquee game for Scottish football and a massive affair. So if you're maybe offering only 2 of them, will you get the same package? And I'm not saying, I don't even know if the deal's that good, to be honest. But they 4 games are massive in the appeal for broadcasters. So I know why they don't do it, but who's to say going to a 16-team league might not bring that even bigger appeal? Because like I said, there's teams in that league, the Championship, even Falkirk and that, like these are massive clubs. Like you get like Dunfermline, Falkirk, Thistle, like big teams who should be Kilmarnock obviously as well, like who should be in the Prem. Like they bring good crowds as well. So I think maybe making it a 16-team league or that would have been good for Scottish football. But it's whether you can tinker it a bit to get a split in there so that you get maybe 3 Old Firm games. Who knows? But I definitely think it's went a wee bit stale because it's so repetitive.
Especially when like the 3rd or 4th game, and like we spoke about earlier, you're kind of in that no man's land. It's just basically a dead rubber.
That's what I mean. I quite like the split, to be honest.
Aye, so do I.
I quite like it. It gives like something to aim for. Say if you're sitting like 7 for 8, if you've still got that a wee bit of thing to fight for during the season. I quite like it as well if, like, say, like Rangers and Celtic are going for the league, or like Aberdeen, Hibs, or Livy or that are going for Europe. It kind of makes the games mean a lot more. I can see the aspect to that, but I think maybe need to. It definitely needs something done to it because it is getting, as you say, it's getting a bit stale. And like I said earlier on, I think the Championship playoffs and that like should be rethought as well because, like I say, I don't think that's fair at all, and it just depends who's on the board really, doesn't it? When they make the decisions, they get a bit more say.
I agree with you, mate. So then, when you're leaving Burton, I presume that was kind of just to get home and just get the family back up the road, basically.
Aye, well, I spoke to Jimmy Floyd, who'd come in, and like we kind of, when I was down at Burton, we were defensively we were all over the joint. We were winning, we were getting beat games like 4-3 and that, and to be honest, I'd never started well. Like I popped my hamstring so the season up here finished in like March. Then we just went into doing runs, no competitive games and nothing like that, no kicking a ball. Got the move, went down there, and at that point it was like no contact. So like we done like 2 days of contact, and then had our first pre-season game, and I done my hamstring like in the warm up for that game. So like I was out for like 5 weeks. I missed every pre-season game, and I come back. I played like 45 minutes in the last pre-season game. My first game like since like Livingston, and then went into competitive games, and I was miles off it. Like, see, just because I wasn't sharp at all. Like, not just leg wise and that. I felt fit. I was fully fit, but like, see, mentally, like a lot of my games like based on knowing what's run about me. See, mentally, I was getting the ball and like it was too slow reacting, and I hold my hands up. Like, I was a bit off it, so put me out for a wee while, and then he seen me in training. Like I started getting to the stage, like I was dominating training. I was doing really well in training, and I went and seen him. He's like, "No, I can see it now. Like you've obviously had to get that contact and that." Started playing my centre mid, and like I was doing well. I think I played like 9 games or something in a row and like doing really well. And then he put me out again, which I didn't agree with. I said to him at the time, like, put me out, and it was like I can't just keep it the same because we were only picking up results. We were getting beat like by 1 goal here and drawing games, and just couldn't get that win. And like I've watched the games back a couple of times. Like I don't know how. Like we were hitting crossbars, posts, everything you can imagine going against us. And so he left, and Jimmy Floyd came in and like seen me in training and basically pulled me after like 2 weeks. And he's like, "Look, I've seen the type of player you are. I've watched games of you and that. Like, I want you'd be in my team. I want to get you in my team, but defensively, like by that point he took over. We conceded 61 goals already, and it was January. It was the end. It wasn't January. It was the end of December. And we conceded 61 goals. So he was like, I need to go ultra defensively now. I need to find a way to just grind out results. But I'll try and get you in." But bearing in mind, I'd sat on the bench for like maybe a month before that, kicking my heels, and obviously I knew the situation my wife was in with the kids, and I just got my agent just phoned me out of the blues. Like, there was two SPL teams trying to get me, and obviously one was Motherwell, and like obviously I had that connection with Motherwell come through as a youth, and like as soon as I knew they kind of thought my agent and that, and then Jimmy Floyd talked to me the next day, and he was like I know there's interest for Scotland. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, usually I would stay here and fight for my place, and that's the kind of the mentality I would have had, like, because I felt confident getting in the team and doing well. He's like, no, that's fine. I was like, but I need to wait up now. Like, I don't really want to be sitting on the bench for another 2 months while you tinker with the team, which is fair enough. You need to do. And my wife's sitting there, obviously not in a happy place because I'm coming home and I'm not happy because I'm not playing. So, just kind of had to weigh that up and get back up the road. And so does that. To be fair, see, when I tell the kids, like, it was rapid. Like, I spoke to Jimmy Floyd on the Wednesday? Aye, the Wednesday training. I spoke to him, and I was up on the Thursday with the two older kids. Just said to him, like, he's want to get home, and they were like, they thought we were going to visit, and I was like, no, for good. And they were buzzing. They're like, delighted. That was a great feeling, seeing them like that, because they'd left all their friends and family and that. They were still coming down maybe once a month, my mum and dad and that, but like missing all their cousins and that, and they were buzzing. So we drove up, me and my oldest two drove up on the Wednesday night. I went straight for training, packed like the minimum stuff I could, and drove up the road and got to my mum and dad's at like 10 o'clock, and I was in at Motherwell next day signing. So it was rapid.
Like, for you must have felt like you definitely know you made the right decision when you see your kids absolutely buzzing, just to get home. They liked it down there, but you could tell the difference. Like, they were going, they handled it brilliantly, to be honest, because like my oldest, she was in primary 2. My boy, he was meant to have 1 year left at nursery, but down there they go to school a year early. So he went for being in nursery to go to school like missing a year. Aye.
Like, straight in. The two of them handled it brilliantly, to be honest. They'd made friends down there and that, but like I said, like, they couldn't do anything outside the school. They couldn't go to their friends for like a sleepover, couldn't go for play dates, nothing like that. They were going to like a swing park and that, but like, that was it. They had like, we had like maybe a week where we could go to Alton Towers. We'd done that, but like, they'd missed all the frat. She had like so many friends at school and that, so no, they were buzzing straight. Got them into, I think, a week off school, and I managed to get them back at their old school they were in. He went back to nursery, so he starts again this year. So started school twice, and he's only 5.
That's unreal, eh?
It's strange the way they done it. It's completely different, but that was good. They, like I said, they managed it really well. They took it better than I thought, but they were over the moon to get back up the road.
So you're at Motherwell now. You're happy to be back there, where you started it?
Aye, it's been a bit of a stop-start, to be honest. I've had a bit of a nightmare again. Like that full season there, 2 years at Livingston, I never picked up one injury. Always fit. Then, like I said, with that thing at Burton, I done my hamstring before the first competitive game, and then could back up the road to Motherwell, buzzing to be back. Club that I played with, I was 10 till 21, so buzzing to be there. Was looking forward to playing games and that, and sighting the Thursday, trained Friday, Saturday, played the game against Rangers on the Sunday. I come on, and Tuesday, just in training, I just done the pass that's my pass, like cutting inside and reverse pass, and just felt a pop, my crunch in my knee, and like done my medial, like 4 days into being back at Motherwell, like, so that was mute for another month, just put me completely back again. So that's full season been a wipe out for me, and then this is basically me starting my career back at Motherwell this year. So, but I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to say that. See, this is maybe a bit of a fresh start and just kind of wipe out the second half of that season just passed.
Aye, probably wipe out the full season, to be honest, because I never had a good time at Burton either. Like, I done my hamstring and then was miles off it when I come back, and I eventually got to a place where I felt good and doing well, and kind of get brought out the team for God knows what reason, and then I had that injury at Motherwell when I come back. So just hoping to stay fit. Like, I've never actually been injury prone, so hopefully that was just a wee blip. Like I say, these things are going to happen. If they happen, just make sure you recover well for them and get back into the swing of things. And so far, so good. So hopefully I can, with a good pre-season under my belt and hopefully I can take that into the games and hopefully take my form for Livingston into this season at Motherwell.
You're looking forward to getting the fans back as well?
It's obviously it was a strange year. They've been good to experience the fans down in England, because I went to some big stadiums and that, and they were empty. Probably been a bit of a disappointment being down there and not having fans, because I went to like Sunderland and MK Dons. I couldn't believe how good their stadium is.
Quite a new stadium that.
Quite new. Like, obviously when I signed down there, like I was delighted when Hull come down. In Wigan, I was like, right, good stadiums to go to. Portsmouth are obviously there. I thought of their teams, Sunderland, Hull, Ipswich. Hadn't thought of MK Dons. And then when we went there, like, all brand new, like state of the art stadium, like seats are all black, like it looks cracking. Really nice stadium. So they've been good to see that with fans in it. But that's what it is. To be fair, I think the fans not being there made that better, because I heard they don't get many fans.
No, I don't think they do. I think it's like you're saying, like the stadium is a big stadium, but it looks a bit, because it's never anywhere near capacity or anything.
They've obviously got to hang with Wimbledon, isn't they? So I think a lot of the fans died with Wimbledon. So, but the stadium's amazing. It was a really nice stadium, but it'll be good to get fans back and family as well, because like that's the first year since I've been Rovers, like obviously went to all my youth games, but that's the first year my dad, my papa and bros haven't been to my games. And then obviously my wife and my kids, like they've, like my boys never been to I think he went to Livingston again, but he was quite young, so
wouldn't remember it.
Not even that, like he doesn't sit, like he didn't have an attention span for it, like, because I took him to, like, when I was at Livingston, like obviously I couldn't go to the other games because I was playing, so I took him to a Thistle game at Hamilton we were playing, and like basically had to blackmail him every, like, the start of the half. We sat down and I was like, right, we're watching the football. He's like, can I get a drink? So I've let him get my drink, packet of crisps, bit of chocolate. Took him like 15-20 minutes for him to get through all that. Wasn't interested after that. Second half starts, back down, crisps, chocolate, drink. Same again, had to leave like 65 minutes in after he'd rinsed that. So that's me just trying to get him into it. So hopefully, like, once he goes to these games, like my missus and my mum doesn't really go. She hitches a drink. So my dad, my brother, papa, granddad, Guy, and my brothers usually go. So once they all go, hopefully the kids can enjoy it with me. But I've got a younger one now, so she'll need to wait a wee while. You'll
have to be bribing her with the chocolate and that.
I don't know. My boy's bonkers, to be honest, right? He's 100 miles an hour, but I think this one could be. I think my youngest could be worse. She's off the chart.
Nightmare, man.
So my boy's getting into football now anyway. My oldest girl, she's looking forward to go back, because like she went to Thistle games and went to a couple of Livingston games, but Livingston didn't have kids strips, so I couldn't get them any strips.
I know, I seen that, because my mate just had a wee girl, and me and my girlfriend were looking to get there, like take her up a strip, looking to find wearing kids sizes.
It's murder, like it's a pain in the arse, because I said to my daughter's obviously got, when she was born, she's got every Thistle, maybe not every single one, but either one, home or away, for each year. She's got one with Daddy 11 on the back of it, and I was going to do that with, I think my boy's got one Thistle one. And I was going to do that with him at Livingston, obviously, and get him with two of them, but we never had them.
Couldn't get it.
Nah, it's a bit of a pain in the arse, obviously. I don't know why they do that, because sure that's got to entice more people to get their kids into Livingston.
No, I think it's something that they were working on, though. I think I've seen some stuff going up in that.
Are they doing it this year,
I'm not sure, but I think there are like smaller sizes, my mate was saying.
I might just get them that then, with Daddy 11 on the back and just kid on still there.
Why no way?
I've got to get them the Motherwell ones anyway, but like just so they've got that one at Livingston as well. They'll know if a class, know the strip I never played in. So
what's the ambitions for you at Motherwell this season? Just try and stay fit for the full year and just see where it takes you, kick on?
Well, initially I want to try and stay fit I feel fit, to be honest. They're just felt fit before the injuries. They're just like freak things that are going to happen. Like, never had any problems with them before, so hopefully that's it and done with. Just trying to hit the ground running. Hopefully get back to my Livingston form where I'm scoring goals and getting assists and helping the team. So hopefully that's the aim personally. And if I do get to that, then I'll feel confident in me helping the team get to our goals together as well.
Just to finish off, I've been told by a source that you're a wee bit under the thumb on a night out, especially in Hamilton Palace.
A big decky, I speak to him.
I'm not disclosing that, but
listen, it's only got to be one, man.
Nah, I don't know where you're not allowed to move until that certain someone says so, and you need to just sit in one corner of the building. That right?
No, this is coming for him, obviously. Listen, see when your foot this way, like the Palace is like, I ran a bit with certain boys in Hamilton who don't like other boys in Hamilton, and like I'm the football player, so I'm the easy target. So there's like a corner. There was a corner in the Palace where everybody who I knew would go to. It'd be like fully everybody I knew. But Big Decky wasn't allowed in it because he used to get battered a lot. So he used to come in and look for me first so that he didn't get battered. A few times I stopped that happening to him.
Yeah, I think aye.
Oh, no, 100%. I know that's happened. Like, he used to just bounce about and kid on. Aye, nobody knew who he was. That's the only reason he could walk wherever he wanted, because he was Blanter.
So this is your chance to hit back at him after stitching you up. He's a Big Deck story.
2 seconds. Bring me up the stair, come on. My boy came down the pictures. That's what I'm dealing with now.
It's not a bad drawing, to be fair.
He's not drew that, he's coloured it in.
So he stitched you up on this. So what's the story about him that you can hit back at him with?
Story of a Big Decky. Try to think, man. I've got a few, in fact. So we've obviously known each other for years, right? And he's a nervous boy. Like, he doesn't come across this way, right? It's all a front. So like, he's a nervous boy. Like during games and that, like a lot of the boys, I didn't know it until I went to Livingston. I didn't know about it until I went to Livingston. Every single game, he needs to go to the toilet before. It's nerves. He needs to get a nervous, you know what? So he's in the toilet before games doing that, right? Every game. Don't know if he still does it, to be honest, right? But he did the time I was at Livingston with him. He does it at Motherwell or not. He did it at Motherwell as well. But like, we're playing them in the player final, obviously. And like, we played the first game, and I had an alright game. I had to come up. Did I come off that game? I might have come off injured. I think Shawnee Burton tried to melt me. So like, I was struggling for the second game, but I managed to play. And this is a true story, by the way. He's in the toilet before the game. His arse is completely rent. Like, nervous, been sick. Like, Davy Martindale's like thinking about having to take him off. Absolutely shitting himself to play against the boy Lawless. Embarrassing. And that boy's went on to play with Scotland. Ridiculous. How's he feeling playing against Mitrovic if he's been shit scared to play against Steven Lawless at Partick?
Do you think he would have been whitey and over in Serbia?
Well, I think him going through that turmoil of playing against me has maybe made him a wee bit stronger. But that's a true story. Like, he was actually in the toilet, like, being sick in that. I think he was sick at half time as well. And like,
no. So you see it?
Aye, this isn't coming for him. Like, he's told me this as well, but like, all the boys, like Lithgow and all that, have told me this. Like, he was in the toilet half time, before the game and half time, waiting, like nervous as they come. Like, in the first 2 minutes of that game, I got the ball and ran at him, and he was turning like cement. Ran past him and dinked it to the back post, and that's maybe why he was sick the second half. I know.
Oh, and they come out against you again.
They were got to take him off, like, because of how nervous he was for playing against Steven Lawless at Firhill. Ridiculous.
Unbelievable, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, mate. That was class.
No worries, mate. Anytime.